All right, we're back for an all new show, Blue and Damage. Listen, I am, loving the reaction to the Drink Champs interview, and people are stopping me and saying, "Hey, good job on Drink Champs. Good job. Never seen you like that." And I just want to reiterate one more time for the people at home. That is the energy that I am on all 2022. And I hope that energy rubs off to every creative out there, every Black person who's tired of being shitted on, everybody who's told that they're not right for something, everybody who has been forced to believe they are less than great. That is the energy that we are shoving down their throats. Pause. No homo. I don't even know if that's appropriate for a gay guy to say, but I'm tired. I am tired. I am Rosa Parks tired of being moved to the back of conversations, moved to the back of the list, moved to the back of the conversation when it comes to who's next. And I'm not taking my foot off of their neck. And so I'm enjoying this energy, and it is just contagious at this point. So I hope that you feel the energy, and I hope to continue to bring it to my show. Did you guys get a chance to check it out?
Yeah, Jason, I don't know how I feel about being Michelle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand the Beyonce thing. I don't know how I feel about being Michelle, bruh. Like, you talked about Michelle so bad during the show, and I'm like, I'm the Michelle of the show. Why is he talking about me like this? I didn't appreciate that.
I'm Latavia, so at least you were mentioned. I'm Latavia.
Let me clarify. Y'all see the comments. People love both of you. Let me say I was talking about the past. Yes, I am Beyonce, but I look at you both like Kelly and Solange. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, I like that.
We are a power thruple. We are a thruple here. And the thing I love about this group, unlike any other group that I've been a part of on the show, is we roll with the punches. We keep it moving, and I really feel that you two have been the most supportive in my journey on this show. And it's been almost 7 years that we've been doing it. You know what I mean? And to keep a show fresh for 7 years, to keep an audience intact for 7 years, to keep on rolling with what I've been going through behind the scenes, it takes a lot. Blue, I want to see what your thoughts were on speaking specifically about the change in co-host and the decision to hire you, because one of the biggest criticisms that I got from Melissa was that I only hired you because she fired you, and that it was to spite her, which was never the case. And I was just surprised that that narrative had existed so long.
Yeah, I think sometimes people think because I'm an opinionated and very confident woman that I must be vengeful. I think Melissa's very lucky that I'm not vengeful, because receipts do matter. Melissa Ford has never fired me a day in her life. I was her cash cow. So you can't fire the only reason people are watching the show, right? So I was never fired. I left the show because I hadn't gotten paid despite contracts that had been put in place. And so I gifted her 8 months of great content for free. You're welcome. And for 2 years, I let her lie on my name. I let her be passive aggressive. I let her create false narratives. I also let her try to sabotage relationships with a lot of people.
I need Damage to close his mouth. I'm looking at him in the screen on the side, and I'm like, production, go to Damage. Go. Anyway, back to Blue. Go ahead, Blue. Finish.
Yeah, I kept it cute, even though I know a lot of things. Like, if I was a vengeful person, she would have a lot of explaining to do, but I'm not, right? She's lucky I'm Buddhist, and she's relying on the fact that I'm not messy to allow her to be messy. So I will just say this. When you go out with someone and only one of you can pay for the tab, the person who's paying for the tab is the one who has the grace to give, right? So I've always been able to pay for my own tab. And even though I'm not famous, I've always gotten paid. I've never had a check that didn't clear. I've been getting paid consistently since 2003. Not everybody in this situation can say that. And so my money and my reputation speaks for itself. So that's why I could be gracious and let her keep lying, because I already knew that history and my credit score were already on my side. So keep it cute, because there are some years where you turn the other cheek, and there are other years where you chin check a bitch. And guess which year this is? Just guess.
Yo, I didn't know this was a smoke show. Wow.
Look at Jason. I'm tired of playing cute. I'm cute enough.
Well, listen, in all fairness to Blue, one of the things I said to Blue when I hired Blue, which I have to say to your face, I really respect how you maintain a certain level of dignity and self-control and self-respect, because you went through a lot transition into that seat, and I'm glad that the fans were able to see you for who you are and see what your contribution to the show is, and see why I knew you were the only decision to sit in that seat. And one of the conversations that we had was that we were going to be respectful of her transition out, and that we were not going to talk about her on the show, and that we would not trash her, and that we would hold all the secrets and all the drama, to our chest, and that we would maintain a certain level of dignity and respect, because that's just what this show and what our relationships are built on. And I think you did a great job being able to navigate through that. And until this show, you've never said anything, but I thought it was so disingenuous to your talent to be able to sum you up as a disgruntled employee that replaced the person who fired her, and to allow that narrative to run. It just really shows the fact that she never even came to your defense to shut the fans down when people were accusing you of that, of taking something that she voluntarily gave up via email, was so disrespectful to you. And I just want to say that I really appreciate how consistently supportive of my direction and kind of the vision for how we move forward. And you did that with just the most class. So I just thank you for that. And I do it. And the fans are really grateful that they're starting to see a piece of what's been happening behind the curtain here. It could be a Lifetime movie, and maybe at some point.
Jason, I have to say this to you and Damage. I just want to thank you guys because I have been maligned and lied on so much. And you two are the two people I can say that I've worked with, the only two people that I've worked with who have always come to my defense and had my back. And the same support that I showed you, Jason, I showed Melissa and everybody else I work with. I'm a team player. I might seem like loud and boisterous and opinionated, but I actually want the collective to win. And so it hurts my heart that somebody that I really wanted to win and that I invested 8 months unpaid into would feed a narrative. And the reason why she didn't speak up is because she created it, right? So the fact that you're hiring people to go on Lipstick Alley to lie about me. Yeah, I saw those, by the way. My friends work in the industry. So the fact that you're hiring people to create lies about me, to undermine me, when the same talent that you're undermining, you were trying to leverage and capitalize off of, God don't like ugly, and he does not like it when you mess with his children. So I just want this to be a cautionary tale to keep your hands clean, guys, because it always comes out.
Wait. It's interesting that you're saying Lipstick Alley, because Lipstick Alley, I haven't heard about those people in so long, but I did see
She has.
when I got back on Clubhouse, everybody was telling me how I was getting drug on Lipstick Alley. I'm like, why am I getting drug on Lipstick Alley now? I don't know anything about what's going on in Lipstick Alley. So that's really interesting. I'll throw an allegedly in there just for the sake of avoiding another.
Allegedly, I watched it, but allegedly, yes. She has people that she sends to Lipstick Alley to talk about all of us.
Now, in the interview on Drink Champs Damage, I talked about how, although she wasn't happy here, left the show, whatever, she was still shooting with my photographer. But you're not my photographer, but you're a talented photographer who also shot her. And, there were times where I had to tell her that you are not her assistant. You are not an intern. And I don't believe you were paid for any of that work. But I just thought it was very telling how much we all supported her to only be thrown under bus after bus after bus. And I'm just glad that the truth is somewhat being told now. And let me be clear to everybody watching, there's so much not being told. And that's why it's silence on social media right now, by the way.
We're still keeping it cute, ironically. We're still keeping it cute. Look at Damage's face. Damage is like, what did I... We telling the truth today, Damage.
You got to speak your truth. It's all about speaking the truth today.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, here's the deal, y'all. The show is called Hollywood Unlocked, Uncensored. The reason why we created Uncensored shows is because that's the energy that we're going to be on. This is not a hit piece. In fact, this wasn't even in the notes. I was just moved to tell our audience because I haven't had a chance to talk to you since I did the Drink Champs interview. And I hope that they rerun that on Fox, so I know they're trying to figure that out, because I want all of our audience to know who's been with us from the beginning. Like, we created this show so Black people can thrive. And the fact that James Dubose and Fox Soul took a chance with us and brought us over there and gave us an opportunity to live in our true, authentic self. I think I even said at the award show the other night at the Truth Awards, shout out to Shirley Ralph and the folks over there at Better Brother Los Angeles, that I love being on a platform where I can be myself. Now, I don't think I'm right for daytime, at least not right now, because I'm still a heathen in many ways. But until I get the heathenness out, I'm ready for nighttime and prime time and overnight time. But, I have to say to the viewers watching, thank you so much for rocking with us. The reason why we keep moving up on their asses, as I said in the interview, is because you keep showing up and supporting us. So now that we got that out, we can move on. Yeah. Well, speaking of the Lord, even though I don't know if I just say anything about the Lord, Pastor Mace, the rapper Mace, who used to be on Puff Diddy doing all of that, or I don't know how he does it. But anyway, he's a pastor, and he went to the pulpit to drag Diddy to hell and back. And now there's this new song that he's created. And, he's left the church. He's been back and forth. And now he's gone back into Murder Mace mode to diss Brother Love, a.k.a. Diddy, as he uploaded a song to YouTube called, quote, Oracle 2, The Liberation of Mace and Betha. Now, in 2020, Mace said that Diddy was still robbing and enslaving artists and holding his masters hostage. There was this whole Instagram campaign where it was being blasted everywhere. We saw different artists who'd been under the Diddy brand say things. There was criticism, as you know, when Diddy released the documentary with Bad Boy, and Craig Mack, was not a part of that. Later, subsequent passed away. And there were a lot of conversations online about the things that Diddy did allegedly to him and other artists, right? But on this new song that Mace launched, he's blasting the hell out of Diddy for allegedly stealing from his artists and samples from producers. And he went on to say in the rap, quote, "Since Cain killed Abel, I'm able to kill Cain, and love don't steal, my nigga, change your name." Now, as we know, Diddy legally updated his name to Love. Now, I ain't gonna lie. This was sent to me before it hit the internet. Right when they publish on YouTube, somebody texted me the link in a real general conversation. And I copied it and I pasted it in a text to Diddy to say, I'm not about to write about this. And I'm going to tell you why I chose not to write about it. Not because I got Diddy number, because Diddy don't do nothing for Jason Lee. But I felt like the auto-tune was so crazy for me that I couldn't even listen to the words. And the auto-tune was so horrible. I just couldn't get into it. This wasn't the Mace that Diddy used to produce. And probably this is why he's not happy, because the producers he has now are pretty lackluster and it's just not anything worth putting on MTV Raps. But I did send it to Puff. Puff didn't send it back, whatever. But now that it's everywhere, we are talking about it. What do you guys think about it? And what do you guys think about artists who come back decades later and are upset over contracts they voluntarily signed at a time they were hungry to get on?
Yeah, I think it's so much to be said here. I'm so confused because I thought everything was all pieced up when they went on the Bad Boy reunion tour. And I'm such a big fan of Mace, especially when Mace and Diddy back in the day. I felt like they were the dynamic duo. I thought we would get past this point. After the last rant that Mace had, I thought we were past this. But we're not. And I'm like, there's one side saying to me, like, of course, if you feel some type of way and you're an artist, you have the right to use your art to express anything. But at what point do you move on? And is he right for not moving on? I don't know. That's where I'm conflicted. It's like the song sounds terrible, but the lyrics were still good and it had a meaning to it. I don't know, because like you said, when people talk about Diddy and the things Diddy has done, it is crazy because it's like, okay, that's Diddy, but it's not different from any other record label story. And Diddy, at the end of the day, is a music executive. Not that I'm giving him a pass, but it's not different from any other record label or stories from other artists. So I'm like, is something that Diddy did specifically so much different from all these other execs? Why is it such a microscope on Diddy? So I don't know how to feel. I'm 50-50
but even after the reunion tour, let me ask you, Damage, didn't he reunite with Diddy at the BET Awards celebration for the 20th year anniversary for Bad Boy? It's sort of like, why do you keep showing up when they say it's time to honor Bad Boy and be on stage shucking and jiving in the shiny suit, but then turn around and go to social media? I also remember there were a lot of people saying that Mace was allegedly scamming them out of money to be able to do features on songs that he never appeared on. And I don't know that to be true, but it just seems like Mace's only way of staying in the press is when he's pressing Puff. And so I'm just confused at why that continues. Like, why reunite and why go on tour? Why do a documentary? Why go on stage and celebrate, but then turn around and slam him in a song?
Well, that question is the only one that I do feel like I can intuit the answer to. He probably needed the money, right? Like, I don't know how much money preaching pays, but I don't think it pays as much as rapping, unless you're, in one of those mega churches. My biggest question is, what triggered this? Because to Damage's point, into what you raised earlier, Jason, the industry, like Issa Rae said, the music industry is the nastiest industry around. Like, I have a lot of friends who, when they tell me stories about the music industry in the 90s, I'm like, thank God I was a minor and was not hanging out with y'all. So if Diddy did or didn't do what he's being accused of, I do believe in evolution. So it is possible that he did those things and he has evolved into Mr. Love or whatever his new name is. So that's not even the problem for me. My question is, what triggered this? Is this a money grab or did something fresh trigger it? And I would love for Mace to talk to us and tell us why he's bringing this up again. Is there new information that we don't know about?
I would love to interview Mason, ask his point of view, because like I said, he keeps coming back I don't want to say out of nowhere, because who knows what his day-to-day is, but it's like, out of nowhere, we'll get this shot at Puff, and it's like, what is happening? Like Blue said, what's happening? And I don't know if he's trying to do these tours and some of these shows to get back in. I know it was a point where Mace was trying to buy his publishing back, so I don't know if he thought that camaraderie would make Puff, maybe more open to selling back his publishing. I'm not sure, but I mean, he's mad about something.
Well, Mace then went on to tell Diddy, aka Brother Love, to pay Notorious Big's mother what she deserves. And he went in on the rap, and he's in the rap song, and he said, quote, "You not no architect, you just a nigga that know how to market death."
Ooh.
Oh.
I was not ready. Go pay his mother what he really worth, nigga. Now, Puff is yet to respond or address the song. That one, I felt that one in my spirit. Now, I don't even know how to respond to that.
Yeah. I mean,
Something
Mace,
had to
even
have happened.
Mace, even though the auto-tune was a little funky, the lyrics was there. I mean, the bars were still there. The auto-tune was whack though, Mace. I'm sorry. I love you, man. That was bad.
Yeah, I just can't eat a steak and lobster dinner on a garbage can lid. Like I need the full experience to be Prime 112. Like, but look, I there's something to be said about artists who take their deals, do the work, and then get mad later because the deal was done wrong. Bad advisement, no attorneys present. I don't know why these people getting these deals. I'll tell you another thing. If I was these artists who had this shot and had the superstardom, it's your job as the artist to stay on. It's your job to continue to leverage what you've built. It's your job to take lemons and turn them into lemonade. You guys should have Kris Jenner that whole situation. And I can tell you that when I look at artists today that are getting all these different brand deals and then putting money and investing and doing stuff, were they not on this in the 90s? Did y'all not know about real estate? Did y'all not know about credit and buying and flipping homes or stuff? Like, what were y'all doing? I feel like you guys, you fucked yourself in these contracts. You lost all your money. You're not famous no more. Some of you are just overweight and have a very slow metabolism and don't know how to, whatever, work your number. And now that you're struggling, you turn around and everybody else is the problem. We'll hear this generation after generation. In 20 years, we're going to hear this from artists that we hear today. And it's just a cyclical thing that people are going to have to figure out. And now with Web3, NFTs, being independent, figure out your own way. Stop depending on other people. Do it the Jason Lee way.
No, I was saying I hope to God that Mace does not come out with an NFT about Diddy. Like at a certain point, we have to let it go. So I hope whatever money he does get from this single, is this even a single or is it just something he sent to his friends on Gmail? I'm not sure what this is. Whatever this is, I hope that he and Diddy talk. Maybe somebody can cut him a check, get him a therapist to work through his unresolved trauma. But at a certain point, you have to let it go. Take the L. At a certain point, you have to let it go.
And you talk about doing other things, but I think one thing people said, and Mace himself, after Big died, it was Mace's pen that they say saved Bad Boy. Mace was like, writing a lot of those hits. So maybe this goes deeper than what we know. Maybe it's bigger than Mace's catalog. Maybe he feels like he's old for a lot of the hits, maybe for 112 or other groups that he's written for. Maybe that's what this goes back into. But at the same time, hopefully those guys can get on the phone, because I would love to see Mace and Puff together, not apart. I think they're better together.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm tired of disgruntled ex-employees. Like once you left and you moved on, move all the way on. Kanye left his album, his label, and went and created Sunday Service, became a #1 gospel winning artist. Like build. Where's Mace? What do you call the big? What do you call the big church with an M? What's it called?
Episcopalian?
Where's,
Evangelical?
where's Mega Church Mace? Where's that album out? Can we put that pen to Writing for Jesus? I just don't know. I don't know if this is going to turn into a Surviving Diddy documentary or if this is going to be, on the front page of Double XL. I would have definitely dropped this with a cover. I'd have been on a cover of Double XL or The Source. I'd be before the Source Awards. I heard are reportedly coming back. I'd be at Source Awards performing, doing my little dance with my little puffy shiny suit. I would be marketing the hell out of this, but I guarantee you it ain't going to happen. Well, speaking of something that shouldn't have happened, Khloe Kardashian was spotted on a date with Trey Songz last night after the Tristan Thompson scandal. Now, look, everybody knows that Khloe and Tristan are going through a breakup. We are so sick and tired of talking about this couple on this show and in our lives. I really don't. But, Khloe Kardashian's latest split from Tristan Thompson, now people are now saying that she's slowly returning to dating. And now she's been spotted out with Trey Songz. Trey Songz, is in his own battle for his public image and trying to clear up a couple rumors that have hit the internet with people saying that he has allegedly sexually assaulted them. She now is trying to get out of her relationship, or allegedly get out of her relationship with Tristan Thompson after he went and had a whole baby with Marilee Nichols, some woman who then is now trying to get $47,000 a month, and he don't want to pay her no money. Look, this is a whole ass mess. Now, I also know that Keeping Up with the Kardashians are coming back on Hulu, so this is all great content, and I don't know that this family cares about their public image as much as they care about a good storyline. But, Tristan Thompson had made this whole public apology. He was really heartfelt for her, and he was sorry for the humiliation that he caused her. Well, baby, now she is rebounding, allegedly, with Trey's Songz. Trigger Trey is pulling the trigger and shooting the club up, allegedly, because the two were spotted allegedly making out in a Vegas nightclub in 2006. Remember that? And then now they were spotted out in LA at the Nice Guy. So are we here for Trigger Trey and Killer Khloe or not?
You know what? Just because they went out, that don't mean there was a date. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they got some history. I'm hoping, because I'm praying that Khloe.
You said hopefully they got some history. I thought you was gonna say hopefully he got some head. I was about to slip out this chair and go complete cardiac. Okay.
No. Here's the thing, right? I don't know what Trey has done, right? But there's a lot of allegations out there. I don't think it's a good look right now for Khloe to be aligning herself that way. But if they got friendship, I can't tell somebody who to hang out with. I don't think it's the best look until Trey kind of figures out his personal life and all these allegations that's going on. I wouldn't suggest Khloe to do that, but if that's what she want to do, they got the history, go for it. But personally, I don't feel like it's a good look.
There's an old saying that I learned in school. The definition of disrespect is when someone treats you worse than what you believe you deserve. I think the problem is here that Chloe's version of disrespect looks a lot worse than what it should look like. I think a lot of the men that she's dated show that she likes to be a savior. And that's a hole inside of her that no man or no penis can fill. So this makes me really, really sad. I think I mentioned a couple episodes ago that I cut off all my exes and cut off people's phone numbers and blocked people because I wanted better for myself. I just want Chloe to want better for herself. Because whether they're dating or not, you even entertaining someone who is moving the way that Trigger Trey is moving right now, after all the fuck shit that you just came out of, speaks to how you value yourself, and I am sad for her. I'm usually not apologizing for the Kardashians, but we'll know that Khloe has a high self-esteem when she starts dating men who actually want her back.
Well, listen, I want to say this. It does. I'm really disappointed that this whole Trey Songz conversation is happening because he's a nice guy. And of course, we've all known him to be a sexual deviant in the way that he just loves fucking on girls. Like, we know that. That's just not an alleged thing. That's just a whatever thing. And he's such a talented person. And I don't know where the switch went, where like the things that I hear about him or the things that, they say about him and how he behaves and how he treats people in general to be happening. I don't think that Khloe needs to be with anybody right now. I think Khloe needs to be taking care of Khloe and focus on her and True. Now, I will say, though, that why don't y'all go get some non-black men? Be like Courtney. Courtney is the one setting the example. I don't see her out here running around in Compton or Slauson or anywhere else that niggas is at, flying through the slums of Chicago or wherever they can find them a nigga. When are y'all gonna get you some white men? Y'all don't want Kanye no more, but yet you kept all his drip, you kept his whole swag, your design looked like his. Now y'all just literally got them 4 babies and that money and that look, and then now he's just out, and now next nigga up. I just feel like, Kim is now on the trend of getting a white boy. Courtney got her a white boy. Khloe, go and get you a white boy so we can stop talking about the Kardashians. Oh, no. Kylie got a black man. Kendall got a black man. I bet you this much. Chris got a black man. If y'all all were dating non-black men, we would not be talking about y'all.
Ooh.
Black culture would not be talking about the Kardashians if they were not with black men. Ain't that crazy?
You just answered your own question. Yeah, you just answered that question.
I wouldn't. I mean, I love their hustle. Their hustle is immaculate. You cannot knock the Kardashian hustle. And in the new trailer, Kim is on the phone saying something like, we're going to use every relationship we have to destroy them. We don't know what that's about or who that's about. And it's a great teaser for us to tune in. But I just find it really interesting how much they become involved in our culture and how much we give them. And I've been guilty of it, so I'm not here to act like I haven't been. But either way, Khloe, take care of yourself, because again, Khloe is a nice girl. She's sweet. She's deceptive as fuck, but she's a sweet girl. Like, I want you to be happy. And I don't know if you're going to be happy walking into court with Trey defending himself with these charges. Well, look, another person who is being charged with something is Stevie J, you know, the Love and Hip Hop star, producer, and the guy who caught Eve on a sex tape back in the day. Well, Stevie J, you know, he's being alleged to be getting sloppy toppy during an interview with a journalist, and the journalist felt, quote, disrespected. Now, you know, for those of you that know Stevie J's antics on Love and Hip Hop, he is a very successful producer, and there was a video that went viral, and it wasn't about his music making skills. He was caught getting head during an interview with a journalist. Do we have the video? Take a look.
So we can see you this way.
This way?
Yep.
How's this right here?
Yep, Stevie.
You see this body right here?
Hold on, wait. It's a hand right there. Hold on. Stevie, why am I in bed with you right now?
No, he said you want to
You're a distraction. You're a distraction. We trying to talk.
No, you're a distraction.
No, you're a distraction. We're talking about you. Pick the camera up.
Where do you want me to take the camera to?
That's a distracting angle.
This one?
This is a mess. I cannot.
Yeah. This is why we do this right here. I do this for this right here.
Okay. You do this for this. Okay, but I want to get serious because you talked about some important stuff, and I want people to see everything about it. Okay, get information. Get your head right. We're gonna dive into it.
No, get your head right.
It's in the game. It's in the game.
My head is in the game too at all times.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. That's what she said. Pause. I'm kidding. Anyway,
I don't know what type of journalism that is, but shout out to Leah's Lemonade for all that lemonade she was sucking on, no pun intended. Now look, so many things. First of all, Faith Evans, you know you're my favorite artist, and you knew better, and you knew you were going to get sucked in to a situation where your name would be thrown in a conversation about your man, your ex-husband to be, getting his penis sucked in the middle of a interview. The disrespect goes on and on and on. And I like Stevie J, and I know Stevie J likes me. And you know, I'm bothered by many reasons. One, the fact that he was doing this while he was being interviewed by a Black woman. The fact that she was laughing and found it laughable and joking. It's not like he was being interviewed by DJ Damage, a man who could be like, oh, you know, some man type shit. But I had so many issues with that video. The fact that we didn't see your penis, that's another thing. But we did see it in the sex tape you dropped with Eve, or on Eve, allegedly, or however that got out. But yeah, Stevie J, that was tacky. You know that.
Really tacky. So here's the thing, man. Fame is a hell of a drug. I feel like people they will do anything to have a viral moment. And I feel like for the interviewer, I mean, she says she feels disrespected. She seemed a little interested at the time. Maybe this is a big moment for her brand. I don't know. I can't speak for her. But for me, that's a grown-ass man. That's somebody daddy on the internet pretending or getting head during an interview. Like, for what? I hope he's about to roll something out, but I'm like, we're at this point in time in social media where people will do anything to have that moment right there. And it's just so sad because Stevie J, man, you take all the antics away, is a talented dude. I wish he would rely more on that talent than this, because this is cheap. I mean, you're too old for this. You're a grown ass man.
He did roll something out. He rolled out his penis, and it's just I can't even believe even the reactions, the facial reactions that were happening. This is great in a sense for the interviewer, because now it's going to go viral and we're talking about her on this show. But ultimately, like, doesn't Stevie have all his kids? Are they all boys? He don't got no girls, right? I know he has two sons.
Grown ass kids.
Yeah. This is the word that I keep on thinking, and I'm happy you said it. Damage is cheap. This is really, really cheap. It's kind of ironic that we started off the show talking about what it's like when you're playing the long game in this industry, and when you have the opportunity to have a cheap viral moment or you can pull back and think about the longevity of your career. I don't know Leah or her lemonade or how sweet or tart it is, but I'm looking at her funny because there's a certain kind of precedent that you set with somebody when you're going to have an interview, right? There's a certain base level of journalistic integrity that you have, whether you're a journalist or not. If you're in front of a camera, you're purporting to be one. And I'm very disappointed that she did not command a certain level of decorum to even conduct the interview. Like the fact that he was in bed at the beginning was already an L for me. And I'm guessing that based on how loose she was, that's why he felt comfortable doing what he was doing. And so I think everybody in that scenario on both sides of the split screen were being cheap. I think it was a ploy for both of them to have a viral moment. It worked, but now what, sis? Like, you're not going to get offered a job off of this. And if you do, at what cost? And so I just want a lot of you keyboard activists and sideline journalists to think about it. Like, okay, if you go viral, then what? She went viral, but none of us are taking her seriously. And I'm a little grossed out and disgusted. And I'm very pro head, guys. Like, if Stevie J got head before the interview, after the interview, I'm very pro head, right? Guap guap 3,000 all day long. However, not during a goddamn interview. It was cheap and tacky, and it wasn't cute, sis. Like, you were laughing, and sometimes women do laugh when they're uncomfortable. So I was watching for that. Like, is she laughing because she's uncomfortable? No, she was laughing because I could literally hear the dollar signs of her thinking about how many likes and how viral she's going to be, and she's going to be in Hollywood Unlocked. Great. Now what, though? It was cheap.
Well, I will say this. I mean, no, I wouldn't hire you, Leah, at Hollywood Unlocked right now because you clearly are not trained, and it's okay because I'll also say that I'll just play devil's advocate, Blue, and not be as hard on her because I don't know what was going on in her mind when that was happening. Some people, I had somebody work for me who laughed when they got uncomfortable, and that shit made me so irritated that I told them that I would fire them if they laughed. So not laugh out of pure laughter, but just like in situations where it's not appropriate to laugh, that was their thing. They needed to go get help for that. I want to also say, as just a quick plug, that this is why I'm launching courses to help young aspiring bloggers, journalists, podcasters to learn how to build brands and how to protect their brands, and also how to be very present when they're building that brand, because things like this happen. Just last week, we were supposed to interview somebody here at Hollywood Unlocked, and when I sat down and looked at the screen, they were laying in bed, and I canceled the interview, literally clicked out, canceled, and I went and ate my lunch because the integrity of my audience matters. And it's clear based on what we just saw that this interviewer was not focused on her audience in the sense of delivering them a quality product. She was looking for clickbait, and she was looking for and allowing him to lead the interview in the way that he wanted to. I think if she would have took a position to demand that he respect her and ask where's Faith at, and demand that he respect women, and if her audience are women, I'm not even sure if she's aware of who her audience is. Do the women want to see that? So it was a missed moment for her, but I do want to just give her a little bit of wiggle room to say, hey, keep learning, because if you're getting interviews, you're doing something right. But in order to get the bigger ones, you got to do it better.
Yeah, and just real quick to add on top of that, who knows if she could have got another interview that big? Who knows? Maybe she was trying to fight through it just to stick it out, be like, you know what? Stevie J agreed to this. I don't know how big her platform is. I'm more so disgusted with Stevie J because he's a grown ass man. He's a professional in this business, and it's like, come on, dude. Come on. Like, is this what you want when your kids look on the internet, look up who their grandfather, great grandfather is? You want them to see this weird ass clip? And I don't believe he was really giving head. It looked like it was just like a ploy. I don't know, man. To me, it was like, come on.
Damage. Let me push back on both of y'all real quick, because I don't want it to seem like I'm being hard on this young lady. I'm showing her the compassion that I wish her friends would have, because people need friends to tell them when they're messing up. How did we get this video? Was this on a live, or did she actually have the moment and upload it? Because if it wasn't a live,
I'm not really sure.
She chose to share it. She chose to share this.
I don't know how it was uploaded. It does look like an Instagram interview or Instagram live or whatever. But even then, you do have the chance to delete it. She knows what she was doing. Look, we are in a. Let's be honest. We're in a clickbait business. We are in a click business where clicks do matter. Click lives matter. But again, depending on the type of brand you're at, I don't know if when I started Hollywood Unlocked, if everything I did was above board shit. It probably wasn't. And so, I just have to say, you both should do better. Now, after the interview went viral, Leah caught a lot of backlash from critics claiming that she enjoyed Stevie flirting with her and that she was turned on by his behavior. She then uploaded a video, setting the record straight, admitting that what Stevie did was, quote, disrespectful. Of course she's going to throw him under the bus when she's getting slammed. And this is what she said.
So there's no victim here. And that's why I want everybody to understand I'm not woo-hoo and boo-hoo and crying. I do feel like after watching it back, it was disrespectful. So I want to be clear. But I'm not sitting here emotional or sad about that. I think for me, it's the disgusting comments like, you liked it, that's why you sat there. Oh, you were getting sexual pleasure out of this. Oh, you liked that he was flirting with you. Let me tell you something. There's not a god thing that Stevie J could ever say to me to make me enjoy that type of behavior from a man I didn't ask it from. Okay? I believe in consent. And that's what some of you are failing to realize. At the end of the day, where people are like getting flustered and there's a blurry line, it's about consent. I never consented to being a part of any type of bedroom behavior that Stevie J decided to do. And that's where it is really messing with me how people are turning this on me.
Sis said what she said.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up before I get in trouble with the ladies. But he was in his bed when the interview started, sis. So you did consent to have it in your bedroom. Don't use those buzzwords. It pisses me off when women use buzzwords after they've got caught bad, right? You can't use those buzzwords to now defend yourself because now you feel stupid. You took a risk, it didn't work out. Eat it, take the L, and learn from it. But don't throw around words like consent just because you messed up. Do better, sis, for real. Like, give her my number. I'll tell her how to fix it. But
yeah, if you agreed to put it out, you're supposed to roll through it. Like the comments shouldn't shake your opinion or whatever. Put it out. Look, you probably whatever. Put it out and live with it. Like don't do a 360 once you see the comments are not in your favor. Just put it out.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. When I see that the comments don't like something I do, baby, I keep on doing it. If that's what I stand on, because again, y'all know like what I do and what I say, I stand behind it. And if it's a story that I get wrong, I clarify it and I keep it pushing. But I don't do something that I know is intentionally going to create a response. You knew him being half naked in the bed was something that would turn women on. You just didn't know it was going to go left, and how you handled it because you weren't prepared for it to go left was the reason why people are blowing your back out. All right, well, look, let's move on. Another person that we love to talk about in the news is Blueface and his artist, Chrisean Rock. Now, Chrisean admits to breaking into his home and writing, "I love you, Blue," on the wall in her blood. Now, last month, LA rapper Blueface said that his artist, Chrisean Rock, who he's also been smashing, broke into his house and stole his car after he kicked her out. Now, he said while inside, she also left him with a love note on the wall. She wrote using her blood, and this is what she wrote. She wrote, "I love Blue Rock." Now, Chrisean also recently got a third tattoo of Blue's first name. This time, it's above her cuckoo. We have a picture of that, unfortunately. And it says Jonathan's pussy. Now, in a new interview, Chrisean was also asked if she really broke into Blue's house and used her own blood to profess her love. She smiled and said, "Of course, take a look."
Did you break into Blue house for real and write in blood on the man wall?
Of course.
What? and then whack on
Whacker
came
hater,
down?
yo. I think he want a crazy bitch like me for him. You feel me?
Right.
Just because he don't got me to him, he hating, and then he got all the power, and then he want to dictate, and then we gonna bump his because he a weird ass.
Yeah, he weird.
I know you see this starting mess with real like speaking on Nipsey, speaking on you not even supposed to speak on Bobby Shmurda. Like, why are you speaking? It have nothing to do with you. You're not who you think you are, bro. Like, you're fucking up money for your artist, Blue. Like, we'll probably fuck with Blue if we didn't have a
Blue
whack
his
ass
only
manager.
artist?
Huh?
Blue his only artist?
No, the Game is his artist.
Yeah,
Long
The
story
Game.
short, you see how that
His artist.
like, God is crazy.
Wow, The Game is
Wow.
artist? Yeah, whack one.
This is why folks have to be really careful of the people that they sleep with. And I'm not even talking about the missing tooth, because I had an ex who had a big gap for years, and I actually thought it was sexy, even though he didn't. I heard just the way that she talks way too much about their relationship. She's way too open in sharing about details that the public should know. She admitted to writing in blood on his wall. She's been to jail in the last 30 days and did an interview about the relationship. I mean, she's been not arrested, but she's removed from the home. I'm not really clear or sure on what she's trying to accomplish here. Is this fame that she's trying to get, the clout chasing? Is it her fighting for her love? I just think she looks crazy. Blue, her name is Blue, right? No, it's Chrisean.
No, her name is not Blue. Please don't do that to me.
Chrisean, Blue is Blueface. Chrisean, please go get help. Like, this just doesn't look healthy at all. And this is such a bad representation for young girls. I mean, the police escorted you out the house. You went to jail. You broke in his house, which I think is illegal. And Blueface, are you still messing with her? Like, is this your boo? What are you doing? Blue's boo. Like, are you encouraging? I know some of you guys like crazy. I mean, hell, that's why I date Dominicans. But I don't think that this is good for either party. And in fact, he's already fighting charges of allegedly beating down. Well, it wasn't alleged because we saw it on the tape. Where him and his people fought the bouncer at the club. Where's Whack 100? Why is he letting this happen?
You know what, man? This internet age have people with mental health issues getting exploited left and right. I kind of feel bad for that little girl, man. Like she clearly needs some help. She clearly needs some therapy. She needs some support. Even when she got kicked out of the house, it seemed like she had nowhere really to go. So she was stealing stuff out of the house, stealing cars. We don't even know if this person is not homeless if it wasn't for Blueface. So maybe it's the control thing that he likes about her. I don't know. I don't like to see these two guys interview this girl. Clearly she has mental health issues. And it's kind of just sad because she's a young girl, man. She's literally like a little girl, and you just see her on here writing stuff in blood. She just needs help.
It really is sad. I suspect there might be a chemical imbalance and that she needs some sort of mental health support. We throw the word crazy around all the time, but she really does feel like she has some mental health issues. I will say this, not to overshare, but I dated someone similar to her in my mid-20s when I was living in New York. It was a young lady, and she was very much like this when I put her out. She broke into my home and she was dangerous. So as much as it's sad, I'm also scared for Blueface because I know what it's like to date someone like this who is actually crazy in the way that they can be homicidal or even violent. And so I think that while everybody's like laughing and using her as a punchline and to get clicks, we need to be really, really mindful that people like her sometimes when they snap, it goes bad. There's a whole show called Snapped just for cases like this. And so I hope we spend less time laughing at her and more time getting her the help that she needs and also ensuring that security is stepped up because it could get left real fast and then it won't be funny anymore.
Why do we know? Why do we think it's mental health though? Because some people just crazy. Like some people, like, have you? Okay, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I'm gonna give y'all some tea. Blueface years ago was in the shower and he was doing a whole social. You know, when social media, when people was doing their thing on Instagram, and in the IG story, his penis got leaked and it looked really small. I don't know if it was because the water, the temperature. Maybe it was early in the morning. Well, early in the morning.
It was cold.
Well, whatever. Look, then when people were joking about the size of his penis, he went release a tape on SoundCloud. This before he got signed. And his SoundCloud cover was his nude photo where you could see his whole penis, semi-erect. I'm telling you what happened. He dicked this thing down. He beat that PP all the way up. And now she done lost her mind. That is what happens to people. I know that I have been in a relationship where the sex made me do crazy shit. If she is not self-identified as being on the spectrum, bipolar, or some other mental health disorder, she's dickmatized. Yeah.
Yes, it's called dickmatized. I've been dickmatized before, and as someone who's been dickmatized, this is worse than that.
Yeah, it's a mixture of mental health, and she's like a homeless sexual. Like they literally had to like carry her ass. Yeah, they had to carry her ass out the house.
He said it right, homeless sexual. I said that word on MTV, and then everybody started getting their version. It's a homeless sexual. She need a place to live. We saw when the police came, and she opened the drawer trying to show her clothes, and there was no clothes there. Where are your friends at? This is a product of not having friends, right? Because your friends would gather you. When I was losing my mind because I was in a relationship with a sexual monster, and it just had me. I mean, when I tell you, it had me all the way snatched up, like under control, that I didn't have any friends around me to say, nigga, like, what are you doing? She needs some friends around her, and it's unfortunate that she doesn't have any. All right, well, listen, I'll tell you who is a friend, and that's 50 Cent. He's a friend of Monique's, the comedian. Monique, who's won an Oscar for Precious. Now, remember, she's kind of been blacklisted in Hollywood, allegedly, by Tyler Perry and Oprah. Well, now she has a heavy hitter behind her back that has her back. 50 Cent is now calling out Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry because he's planning to put Monique back on the screen. Now, before I even get into the story, I have to tell you, back in the day when Monique was out here holding up comedy for Black women, she was the funniest comedian at the time that I can think of. Her and Lunel have been my favorite comedians for years. Remember when she did the whole blowing the baby powder out of her hand, where she said where she was talking about breast milk having powdered milk, and then she did the Queens of Comedy tour, and she was just hilarious. She's talking about skinny bitches all the time. I love Monique, and when she did Precious, it was such a phenomenal movie, and then she ended up winning the Oscar. And then she called out Oprah and Tyler, and at the time I was very, very critical of her because, again, disgruntled employees, here y'all go. But it sounded like because she disagreed with them, they not only were upset with her, but they attempted to allegedly blacklist her. Now, recently 50 saw her do her stand-up in person, and he got into the conversation by pushing to get her back onto the big screen. And she's been gone from movies and television since 2016. She's been gone. Now, as a refresher, Monique has claimed to be blackballed by Oprah and Winfrey, as I said, and Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels. And she said it all stemmed from her not wanting to go and do time promoting Precious that wasn't a part of her contract overseas. What do you guys think about 50 jumping into the conversation and having her back?
I see you, Blue.
I'm choosing my words so carefully. I have an unpopular opinion on this. And Damage knows how I feel. That's why he's laughing. Okay, so many truths can coexist, right? So first truth, Jason, I agree. Monique is insanely talented. I was a huge fan of her back in the day. Queens of Comedy, I watched that so many times. She deserves to work because she is talented. Two, her, Oprah, and Tyler had some problems that I actually think Oprah and Tyler have moved on from, but they did have some problems. Three, I personally know people who have not worked with Monique and it has nothing to do with Oprah and Tyler. She's not always pleasant to work with, and her emotional intelligence and social intelligence is often lacking. And it's on the public record, like when she was talking about women with bonnets and then posted a picture of a civilian wearing a bonnet at the airport and shared it with millions of people to shame this woman. So how are you talking about Oprah and Tyler shaming you in the industry when you can't even be nice to civilians? And so my thing is, if Monique said, you know what, I was a nightmare sometimes as a person to people, and I've learned from that, and I didn't deserve to be blacklisted for that because I've learned and I want to do better, I would be 100% her coming back. But the fact that she is lying to us and pretending like Oprah and Tyler are the only reason people don't want to work with her, that bothers me because that's not the truth. And so I think that Monique, just like we mentioned previously, should be allowed to work again, but stop blaming it on everybody else. It's not everybody else's fault. Some folks don't want to work with you because you sometimes are condescending. And it's on the record. Google it. There are many people that she's been on shows with. On The Real, Adrienne Bailon, the way she talked to that young lady was disgusting. And so I think Monique has two separate problems that she's conflating to work on the nerves of the public to feel bad for her. So I want her to work again, but I don't think she's 100% a victim. I'm just gonna put it on the record.
I haven't seen her behavior, so I don't know. I mean, I've heard things about Oprah. I've heard things about Tyler too. I don't, and I've heard things about 50 Cent. You've heard things about me. I think that all of this can be true, right? I think there is a difference though between blackballing somebody and taking food out their mouth and their family's mouth, or saying that they should never work in the industry. And we all know that Tyler and Oprah are both powerful enough to do that. I think Tyler forgot how it was to live in this Geo Metro, and I think that Oprah forgot how poor she was when she was in Mississippi or wherever she was from. So time changes and people change, and now they are super rich billionaires and all that. Woohoo! But I think that we have to separate, because I don't want to conflate her having an opinion about women wearing bonnets. By the way, I ain't gonna lie, I'm sick of people in the airports in pajamas in general. I ain't even gonna attack the bonnet crew.
Jason.
We got people who are. I was in the airport the other day, and I ain't gonna lie, it was some old nasty, because like some people's pajamas, they don't change or wash them for weeks.
Ew.
These people smelled like they rolled out of bed, put on they have flip-flops on and their pajamas, and they stank. They stunk. And I ain't gonna lie, I was about to film them, but I don't want to shame the public. But we might have to get in a fight over shower caps and pajamas at the airport. I don't know. But I don't want to conflate the two, because she could be an asshole for what she said to those girls and how she said and how she recorded, or how it was recorded, uploaded. And that could be true. She can be difficult to work with at times, depending on who you're talking about. People who are artists or creatives, people who are bosses in their own right, some with ego and some just because their confidence can be labeled an asshole. And that could be true. But I still am, I'm going to go all the way back to what I've been saying consistently. I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I feel like nothing that I've seen her do deserves to be fully canceled. And I think that accountability culture is important. You know, maybe you all don't hire her on any more of your projects. Oprah has a whole network with Black television shows. Tyler has a whole roster of movies with Black people in them. Don't hire her for your things. But as an Oscar winner, she earned that statue. Let her do her motherfucking job. Let her go out there and work and eat, you know?
Jason, you said accountability culture, and that's my point. I've never heard Monique take accountability. That's exactly my point. I want her to work, but I've never heard her take accountability.
Accountability culture does not require her to say, I did something, I'm sorry.
Her actions don't say it either.
What I'm saying is accountability culture is Oprah and Tyler holding her accountable by not offering her jobs anymore. But to call up networks or say, I'm not going to work with you, or we won't sell our project to you, or we won't, you know, honor this or that with you because we don't want you working with her, is different than saying, you know what, we're going to keep our purses in our lap and we're not feeding you anymore. That's different. Like me, accountability culture at Hollywood Unlocked, if you've worked with me, if you've crossed me, if you've done something dirty, you will never work here. You will never work on anything that I touch or I'm involved with. But I'm not going to call BET or Shade Room or Zeus Network and tell my friends or my colleagues not to give you a job. I just don't have that. I'm missing out on that type of time. I don't believe in that.
I think the beautiful thing about all this is 50 Cent is in a position where if she was blackballed, because I agree with Blue, I have not heard this lady hold herself accountable once. But if she was to be blackballed, I think it's so amazing that we have young executives like 50 Cent that have the power to put her on multiple shows if he want to. And I think that just shows how far we're coming. I'm sure we have farther to go. But I'm really excited that 50, if you feel like in your heart she needs to be back on that screen, it's so powerful that you have that power, no pun intended, to put her back on the screen at your discretion. So I think it's so dope that 50 wants to work with Monique. Monique, you're funny, you're an icon, you're talented. Bring it. I would love to see her on the next Power Force, whatever show 50 got. He got like 1,000 shows for life. I would love to see Monique on that screen again.
Their personalities are compatible. I think 50 and Monique, they might be the two people that should be working together, to be perfectly honest. I can't say networks, but I know people at certain networks who have nothing to do with Oprah, nothing to do with Tyler, and just didn't want to work with her because of how she acted to them directly. And so again, I would love to hear her say, you know what, being blacklisted was wrong. I didn't deserve it. But the time that I was put on timeout, I've learned to maybe reevaluate my ways. Whether it happens or not, we'll see, Jason. We'll see damage. But Monique wasn't only not getting work because of Oprah and Tyler.
There are people on the Love and Hip Hop set. There are people on the Wild 'N Out set that will tell you Jason Lee was difficult. And I'm going to tell you why. Anytime they try to do anything that was outside the boundaries that I set for the production and that I set for the network when I got the job, I didn't allow them to do it. I would not allow them to make me film with certain people. I would not allow them to I would not allow them to force me to have certain conversations. I wasn't going to talk about lovers. I wasn't going to bring a lover on the show. I wasn't going to do what they wanted me to do outside of what I was comfortable with. And then when I stood up for myself, I was labeled difficult. That is a word that is put on people who don't conform. And I'm not saying that's her case. I'm saying in my own case, I remember when Charlamagne called me and said that he heard I was difficult at iHeart. And that was because I realized that they made me lose thousands of dollars and I held them accountable. And if being labeled difficult means that I'm standing up for myself, I'm not taking anybody's shit, I'm very confident, and I'm holding people accountable. I'm not saying this was her case, but I'm saying in my own case, I just don't think it's fair to paint a picture with a broad brush because everybody has different experiences working with certain people. And I'll also tell you that I have friends who've had employees they've called difficult. And when I asked them what the problem is, hell, Blue, Melissa called you difficult. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, depending on who you're talking to, people can get labeled so fast. You know, I'll tell you right now, I've become a motherfucking monster in this game. At this point, I feel the ascending of my career. And when I have every meeting and I walk in saying, if there ain't another zero on that motherfucker, we're not even talking no more. When I went and made a couple moves not too long ago and I tripled my booking rate, you don't have to book me, but if you want me, that is what it is, because we know yesterday's price, as Fat Joe said, is not today's price. So I just feel like we have to stop being conditioned to allow other people to control our narrative and say we're difficult if we simply don't agree with them. Again, just disclaimer, I'm not saying this was the full case in Monique's whole trajectory into fame, but we don't know because we, in all fairness, Blue, we weren't there. And we just weren't.
I've watched her evolve, Jason, and if I had seen a glimmer of that in her, I would have been the first person clapping. So I look forward to seeing it. And the only thing that's different between me and you and her in this scenario is I've watched you evolve and I've watched you apologize. I've watched you with my own eyes apologize, evolve, and tweak. I've watched myself do that. All I've seen Monique do is double down. And so I want her to get a paycheck. I do not want her to be blacklisted, but I would love it if one day she could even come on the show. She talks about how she's reflected on how she could improve. That's all.
Me and Monique are texting, so hopefully she does come on the show.
I would love her to come on.
Hey.
50 Cent is calling out Oprah, though. I'm going to go back to that because he did call out Oprah. Let me show what he posted on Instagram. He said, I'm sure Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry would not want to continue to allow their influence, he misspelled there, to damage the real Mo worldwide. That's Monique career. And this has went on for way too long. So now would be a great time to apologize because I'm going to put her back on TV. Okay, look, I think that she would do good on Power. I know that her whole career can be revived in one good role because that's really all it takes. Now, apparently, he talked to Tyler Perry, and Madea had this to say. He said, "I talked to Madea, and she told me she would never tell anybody not to hire Monique, and that she's happy to that 50's decided to work with her. And she also said that she couldn't speak for Oprah, but she is sure that she is fine with Monique. Now, look, I got to stop because it's the pronouns for me. But
the pronouns.
Madea apparently is okay with Monique, so I could see her in. Put your money where your mouth is, Tyler. Give her a job. That's all I'm gonna say to that.
Super talented. Put her back on air.
Blue, that was so disingenuous. I'm
no, I'm being sincere. I want her back on air. I just want her to be accountable. They can
Blue,
coexist.
I've seen sincerity. No, that was a great transition, but you are over this segment. Maybe Monique and Oprah can play sisters in a film that Tyler Perry writes and directs. And 50 Cent can be one of their sons.
That would shut down the internet. That would shut down the entire internet. I'd be here for it.
That would be different.
I don't know about Lee Daniels because one of them will get arrested for saying somebody put a noose around their neck and, got them on the... Listen,
was that a Jussie joke?
Bye. All right, look, that was a great show. And make sure you keep coming back because we got all types of amazing interviews and topics that are going to make you go crazy.
That's right. That means like, subscribe, do everything you need to do to make sure you stay up to date with what we got going on.
And ladies, stay tuned in because I have your back.
And listen, make sure that you're commenting below because even though I say I don't read it on the show, that's all I do when it's over. Peace.